We've heard that you're handing in your notice. Given the area that you work in, it's our policy to let you go effective immediately.
Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about layoffs. A lot of people have been laid off from different places. So I've put the stitches together so that you watch. I'll be back to share my 2 cents.
We've heard that you're handing in your notice. Given the area that you work in, it's our policy to let you go effective immediately. So I just thought I'd let you know.
I was told I'd have 4 weeks notice. I have children to pay for. You're not giving me any notice.
We don't have to give you any notice. This is what this phone call's for, really.
Well, I'm sure you do. I'm sure
immediately.
you do have to give you some sort of notice. You can't just let me go when you know that I've got a family to feed. Surely that's not.
There's really nothing that I can do about it.
You're basically just leaving me in a ditch. You can't do this to someone.
Decisions come from above. I'm just passing on the message. It's not really.
It's
in
got
my
to be
control.
illegal to do something like that to someone. You can't just do that just because I'm handing in my notice. That is absolutely ridiculous.
It's not in my power to change this. This is just a company policy. I thought that you knew that this was the situation.
No, I've been told one thing and now I'm being told another thing, so...
There's nothing I can do about this. This is
No.
just the way that things are.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll just be speaking to a lawyer about this.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it, and I don't know what getting legal advice is going to do for you either.
The day has finally come where I got fired as a realtor, and I'm going to tell you why. I had been working with these older clients for about 4 months straight now, and we ended up closing a deal together completely fine, no big deal, worked out great. They signed a showing agreement in order for me to show them these properties. They fell in love with it, and we moved on. After that property closed, I actually ended up switching brokerages. That BBA had expired, so it was time to go ahead and write a new one. They were still on the hunt for additional properties, so I decided, okay, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to have you sign this BBA because every single time that we would drive around, we'd stop at every single lot that was for sale in that neighborhood. I went over to their house and I presented them with the BBA. I said, hey, here you go. You'll just have to sign this one since I'm at a new brokerage now and yours had expired in order for us to go view properties because it is illegal for me to show them any sort of properties without a showing agreement or BBA in place. He was pretty upset, actually. He pretty much told me that should be illegal, that we're having people sign these things when it's actually mandated by law that every single realtor have one of these signed for any sort of showing of any sort of property. He explained that somebody that was a part of his trust was going to review all those documents to ensure that this is something that he should be signing. So I then, therefore, explained, sounds good, I'll go ahead and leave this with you, and we just can't go look at any properties. If you want to, you can go look at them by yourself, and then when you find one that's interesting, you give me a call, and then we'll figure it out from there. He reluctantly signed and said, you know what, let's just go anyways. I've already signed one of these with you before, so let's just go. I'll be okay, and I trust you. I was spending probably about 4 hours each week with them where I'd go over to their home, show them all the properties that were new on market and ones that we've already seen before. We'd drive around the community, walk everything by foot, look at the other properties that he already had purchased, and then continue driving around the neighborhood to look for more options. They found another property, fell in love with it. It was phenomenal for them. It was at a great price point. We went ahead and we negotiated it out, and he is definitely in a great position now. He ended up closing on that actually just this past week. I had stopped by their place on closing day in order to drop off all of the documents that they had signed at title, so that way they had fully executed copies, and I actually got to meet the person that was a part of their trust. That person ended up explaining to me they bought multiple properties over the fall and never had to sign one of those agreements, which is technically illegal. That ruling went into place August 17th of 2024, so it's been something that's been in effect for a while, and if he says that he's actually purchased a bunch of properties without one of these agreements, that agent could lose their license. So I went ahead and took it upon myself to present him with the document, explain everything that the buyer had ended up signing with me, and showed him all of the results from the NAR settlement. He agreed that it was a very valid case and that it might be required by law. However, that's just not how they conduct business. They wanted something that would be very short term, probably about a 7-day agreement, which does not really protect me as the agent, especially when I'm spending my own gas money, my own time, multiple hours of my day driving around with them in order to go look at properties in which they could just turn around and buy it with a different agent as soon as that would expire. It does not have any protections for me whatsoever, and it mostly benefited the client. I actually ended up getting an email shortly after I had met with them and he reviewed the documents. And he explained to me that they would like to cancel that buyer brokerage agreement, and that while they understand that that is a legal thing that they have to do in order to view properties, it's something that they would want to do on a very short-term basis, and they wanted to do it address by address so that way they could continue working with other realtors while having me do the legwork. Not only that, but the client also had an issue with the compliance fee that I was charging him. Unfortunately, it's something that I had to charge because had I not, I would have to eat it out of my own pocket every single transaction that we did together. I knew that money was no problem for them, as they had explained it multiple times. They had many dollars in the money market and many different ways of making income. For them, it was no concern on value, it was just the principle of the situation. As a result of this situation, I definitely lost those clients. However, I think that it actually works out in my benefit. I don't have to negotiate any longer about my compliance fee, which is actually working out pretty well for me. And now I don't have to do all this additional legwork just for them to go work with a different realtor besides myself, wasting my time, their time, and the other realtor's time. I will say it was definitely a weird thing for me to experience, simply because they were completely happy with my services. They explained multiple times over and over that I was a wonderful agent to work with, and I'm also a very kind human being, just because I would do little stuff for them because they're all so nice. However, it just does not make sense for me to go ahead and sign an agreement for 7 days in order for them to go and work with somebody else who didn't do all the legwork that I had performed. It definitely was a bummer. However, I'm actually quite excited because I'm starting to actually put my foot down for myself, and I'm starting to realize what kind of clients I do want to work with based on their motivations and what they're looking to do. But that's essentially the first time that I've ever gotten fired, so it still feels a little bit weird.
5 days ago, another 54-year-old that I know through my community lost her job while at the hospital attending to her husband. Her company didn't even call her in for a face-to-face meeting. They phoned her over the phone while she was in the emergency room and said to her, her job has been eliminated. And not just her, everyone in her department, including her boss. That's why I'm saying to you, what is your backup plan? I want to introduce you. This is Marthia. Marthia is a 54-year-old lady, and she's been working for a company for 19 years. And luckily, she stumbled across digital marketing, and she started a side hustle about the same time as what I did. And you know what is so inspiring to me is that she's not crying. In fact, she is smiling. It's like a curtain has lifted off her face. And that's what I want to tell you, how this changes lives, how the training, how the community, and how earning $1 income by working a 2-hour day, how it is changing lives. It's changed mine at 51, going from a side hustle 4 months ago to be able to give up my job. So, are you going to be like Marthia and start a side hustle so that you have a backup plan in case that happens to you? Or are you going to be like me and start a side hustle to replace your income and just do this full time and live the life that you want? A life where you can be with your family and get your freedom back. So if you want to learn what I did and what Marthia does and how we changed our lives and why Marthia is not crying long tears like her boss who didn't have a backup plan, type ready in the comments. I would absolutely love to share it with you.
Today is my 32nd day being an unemployed ass, fired ass, jobless ass bitch. And I told y'all yesterday I done signed us up to go tinker with people's shit. As you can see, we matching today. We got another job today. Somebody done hired us to hang some pictures, put a desk and a table up. So we walking around trying to get our supplies together. After acquiring all necessary tools and equipment, we headed over to the job, and the first thing we did was put together their table. After completing the dining room table, I decided to go ahead and unbox the office desk. Being that the desk was electronic, getting the motor together took the longest portion of this particular task. Now that everything had been assembled, it was time to hang the photos. First came the large frame photo, second the long photo, and third the photo we're currently hanging. A TV mount was not in the original plan, but here I am,
We've been
and
on
here's
this
a
job
TV
since
mount.
5:30. It is now 9:30. We are not done. The table is complete. The desk is complete. 3 of the 5 pictures are hung, but they went and bought a TV and a TV mount. I left my brother there so he can finish putting up the mount, but I came to Walmart to find some putty to patch all the random ass holes we done put in these folks' damn drywall looking for a bean.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Everything went great.
That's a video, guys. I'm just here also to share my true sense, like what I think about today's video. A lot of people have been laid off. So let's talk about what's really going on in this job market, because what people are being told, the economy is booming, thousands are quietly losing their jobs. And I mean quietly, no headlines, no warning, just your position has been eliminated. You're packing your bag, shocked, and trying to figure out how you pay your rent next month. Mass layoffs are not just happening in tech anymore. They're hitting nurses, teachers, customer service, agents, warehouse workers, people who went to school, who followed the rules, who worked overtime, who sacrificed their family time, and who thought their job was secure. Now they're out in court. Let's be honest, companies are not loyal to their workers anymore. The minutes profits dip, shareholders want returns. The workers are the first to go. No excuse, not the board. It's the everyday employee, the ones who make the company run, who are being let go like they're disposables. And you know what's worse is lay you off and a week later post the same job online, but this time is a contract base, no benefit, no stability. They don't want employers, okay? They want cheap labor with no attachment. If you've been laid off recently, I want to tell you, you didn't fail. The system failed you. You gave your time, energy, loyalty, and they took it for granted. And now while you're stressed, trying to update your resume and apply to 100 jobs a week, there restructuring and preparing for another round. We need to start talking about this openly. We are not alone. We are living in an era where job security is becoming an illusion. The truth is, it's time people start planning for their reality, side hustles, in time people start planning about other remote work, digital skills, because the 9 to 5 promise is not what it used to be. So a lot of people now, when they've been laid off, they're thinking of doing things differently. They're thinking of or starting their social media and start doing a lot of things. So if you've been laid off, don't really cry. Okay, take your breath in, like it's really happening to everyone. So don't lose hope. You just have to pick up yourself. Okay, yeah. So let me just tell you, if you feel so emotional, it's okay to feel about that, because you know your job is your security. You know your job is your stability. You are recognized by the job, because most of the people, they ask what are you doing and you be like, I'm doing nothing. Like it doesn't just seem right in the society where we are living right now. So a lot of people, like, they've put all in these jobs, but what did the job pay them back? With a layoff. Like these are the everyday employees who goes to work like every time. They are always present. They're helping the company to bring profit. But when they want to cut the workers, they'll start with the same people without even thinking like, where are they going? Do these people have children? What are they going to eat? How are they going to pay rent? Because some people have mortgages, and you know, if you have a mortgage, it's kind of crazy. You have to pay that every month. Even if you have rent, you need food to eat every day with your kids, but these people that are going ahead to leave you behind. Just imagine the mental toll. Just imagine the shame which you people go through, like every day, thinking they're not good enough, because losing a job can make your self esteem to go down. Okay, so I've seen a lot of people. It's just like you're in a relationship and your boyfriend says, I don't want you anymore. Like your self esteem goes really low. Like you think, am I not beautiful? Am I not enough with this person? Just the same as a job. Like you can actually ask yourself, am I not good enough for this job? Because all I know, I've put all in this job, but nothing really is happening. So I just want to let you know that don't lose hope. Like this job, it's just a broken system. It's not like you, it's just a system um which is just which is not just working right, because I think we need more security when someone has a job, like more the rules, laws, so that if you lose your job, you're able to go and report everything. Because some of these jobs we've seen people recording how they lost them. It's all like making sense. Just in the blink of an eye, someone is just coming to tell the other person that your job has eliminated. So it's this is crazy place. It's really crazy, and people are losing hope now in America. People are just like, what am I going to do as a person? People are now being chased from their homes. They don't have where to sleep. I've seen people coming, they're living in cars, others are living in storage units. Like life is so tough at this point. Like people are just they actually don't really know what to do. Okay, because when you lose your job, you'll just lose the sense of yourself. For you to eat, you need a job. For you to go anywhere, you need a job. Okay, even the gas in your car needs a job. Like you need money for you to pay all these things. It's kind of crazy. And these companies, they don't even have empathy to feel like, okay, well, how are they going to feel? They just think of themselves like only things which are going to benefit them. So I've put the stitches together so that you watch. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. And please don't forget to put any comments for me. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next episode.